Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clap it up. Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up, man. What's popping? Siri, I'm here talking. Yeah, what's popping, man? It's your boy, okay, bet. Yes, you're gonna do a quick recap of what happened Friday, and then basically, give us a little Sunday night, pre-Monday, pre-open game plan real quick. So, obviously, first, we got to go over the Friday game plan, right? We mapped all this out, right? When market opened, when I was doing, the pre-market setup and stuff like that. And again, too, if you ever want to go, rewatch the lives, they're always, uploaded to the playlist or whatever. So, yeah, man, this was one of those days. Like I said, this is the one that we talked about before market open that we were gonna have a lot of patience on. So bought time, bought didn't buy zero DTs. Oh, I had a few, not a lot, but main position was in one DTs. Now I have some two DTs, and now we are currently gapping up to 715.38. So yeah, market's still pretty active right now, man. Even with all the bad news and stuff over the weekend. So this is why I say, man, you trade what you see, not what you feel. So let's get straight into it. Let's go ahead and look at what we got possibly going, and based on where we are now, which is 715.38. So let's go ahead and clear all this out the way. By the way, man, if you did play this one, the I forget exactly which contract we called out, but if you did play this one and you did swing, if we do open up this high, I would suggest taking some of that profit, just in case, right? Just in case, and I'm gonna go over why. So obviously, let's go ahead and switch to our 30-minute, right? So boom, remember we've been in this chop zone for a few days, right? Really just chop, 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 chop cheese, right? So we've officially broken out, right? So from where we are, well, my fault. From where we are as of now is, like I said, 7:15:38. 7:15. Boom, we'll just put it right there, right? So we come up here, right? We're gonna make sure we mark our previous day's close. So previous day's close first, we're gonna have to make sure that if we come fall back at any time at open, pre-market, like anything, we want to make sure you hold that close. If you can hold that close, get back over Friday's high, right? Continue to hold, come take out, pre-market high, wherever it may be, right? We'll aim for that pre-market high. And yeah, like I said, just buy time and we'll just keep, we'll trim the runners, set a little trailing stops, stuff like that. And as far as upside, I don't see, man. They've been trying to call tops for 3 weeks now, so I don't know, man. Just like I said, just keep buying time. And if it wants to go up, it will, right? It'll just continue, and we'll catch the reversal if it does happen, right? So boom, that's downside, right? Let's say we gap up and we don't hold previous day's close. Gotta come back and test this zone, right? We gotta come back and test that 711 to 712 rejection zone, right? Every time we came up here, rejected, right? So now we're gonna need to test and make sure, right? This is a true breakout retest, because if not, right, and it just sweeps back below, we can't hold, right? Now we're back inside this whole range, right? And then we could easily rotate all the way back down, even come back down inside the giant megaphone that we've been in for some time, right? Let's zoom out to the daily real quick, right? So this right here, been inside this megaphone for quite some time, right? Remember, every time we were up here in the zone, we kept bumping our head. So now we've kind of broke out and retested that zone. So higher time frame would say more upside, but obviously, Friday could have just been a nice little liquidity sweep, right? Get a bunch of people long, and then, like I said, smack it all the way back down. So we don't know for sure, but yeah, your downside levels, of course, are going to be, like I said, your previous day's close, right? If we start to lose anything below the 711-ish, 711, yeah, you can really say 711, right? Watch for obviously Friday's low, right? Anything down there, yeah, anything back below that, 706. Now 706 is where I start to get a little iffy, right? We lose 706, get back under 705. Now we're back inside the giant, big, huge megaphone. So anything back down there, you definitely got to be a little careful as far as just blindly buying the dip, right? We want to see some sort of 4-hour daily, you know what I'm saying? Like if it does come that far, you want to wait till it reclaims on a higher time frame before we start seeing this as like a giant breakout retest, right? Or something like that. So yeah, take it level by level. Be patient with it, of course, just like we always do. I'll be live tomorrow morning, of course. We'll do a little pre-market, because obviously right now I can only see where we are as far as like futures and stuff like that. But obviously by tomorrow open, we'll have a clear game plan as far as how do we play the open. If, like I said, if we're gonna play the open, obviously we don't advise just jumping in at the open just because. But I'm saying if we do see a setup, obviously it'll be easier for us to know that once the market opens. Gives us a few candles. And I love watching the pre-market candles too, because you can see, whether such and such level held overnight or whether it didn't, right? Even Friday, right? Even down here, we had this zone right here, right? We gapped up. So anything in here, right? You had to kind of be mindful of because overnight, like I said, watch these candles, boom, broke out, and then we just kind of before the market opened retested, couldn't go lower, we held, right? Break out, kind of retested a little bit, but we didn't come all the way back down. So that's what I'm still kind of iffy about as far as like I said, just blindly going long because right? You can't really just keep going long unless you get some sort of retest, right? Whether that retest be, previous day's close retest, whether it be previous day's high retest. Like, I just need some sort of retest, right, before I just grab any more contracts. But I'm probably going to be closing a lot of my positions at open. Well, honestly, it depends on how far we are up. But yeah, I'm not nothing crazy, just the 720s for 2 days out. But yeah, so that's pretty much going to be it. Keep it simple, you know what I'm saying? Keep it calm, cool, collected, right? Let's check our where's the other chart? The one with the big here we go. What about this one too? This one just gives it a just a different outlook type shit. So, right, this whole zone is overhead resistance on this, right? Zoom all the way out. We've been in this upper channel for some time, right? Some years. So now, like I said, we're broken out, we tested it, now we're back above it. But we're testing the daily overhead resistance. So, like I said, whenever we test daily levels, you can't be assuming that it's gonna work out on a smaller time frame, right? If I'm like, hey, this is daily resistance, I'm not gonna go look at the 1 minute and be like, all right, let me find that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a daily level, so that means we're gonna need daily candles to let us know if it's true, if it's gonna hold, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, if we do break out of it, I'm still gonna be a little careful because I want to see at least if we break out some sort of retest back in it, right? At least just to test the bottom, or even if it's tomorrow, right? At least let us test the bottom of this range because we can hold it, right? Like I said, we definitely got some upside potential, but it's just a matter of being patient, waiting for price action. Obviously, we're at all-time high, so the levels are a little, they're new, so definitely got to watch how they play out, watch how they hold, right? And you adapt, right? We made this level, right? We didn't really have much to go off of, a few days, but made the level, watched it, once it started to hold, inverse head and shoulder over the level, right? And this is what I mean by a nice retest, like something like double bottom, give us a inverse head and shoulder, like just give me an attempt to show me, hey, this level is really true, right? Because if you just buy up here, how do you know if it's gonna hold? We never came back and even tried it. So if you try to buy in while it's already peaking, what happens that one day where you get a flash crash, right? Or something goes wrong. So always be patient with it. Always give it time, buy time. You don't gotta play zeros every day. Yeah, I mean, I do a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but that's not your first thing. Is just let me buy a bunch of zero DTs. I like to personally use the zero DTs as like a cushion. So I'll maybe one of the first setups of the day. Like once volatility's in there, nothing crazy. A little 30% will do, right? You get a little 30%. Use that as a little cushion. Now my 1DTs now I have, or two, however long out. Now I got more time, so I can be a little bit more patient and not stress so much, right? Because let's say I'm in nothing but zeros and I buy in right here on this first bounce, I gotta sit through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 30, 45 minutes, right, before this actually takes off. Most people won't do that. Most people will be like, I'm about to get stopped out, or you know what I'm saying? Because if you're in zeros, theta's killing your contracts if we're not moving. So, it's never going to be your first. Just that's more so for gamblers, for real. Yeah, zero DT is probably one of the best and worst things that ever happened to the trading community. I ain't gonna lie, but yeah, it's always better to play time, be a little bit more patient with it. Like I said, we accumulated a bunch of calls down here, so once we got the initial pop, with the ones, you're pretty good. 2DT, yeah, you're pretty good as long as you continuing up, and then we finally got that one candle that gave us 300%. So yeah, definitely gonna be smooth with it. Keep it calm, keep it cool. Mark the previous day's close, previous day's highs, previous day's lows, right? Watch those levels, right? Watch your zones. Be very careful, be very patient, and hopefully we do get a retest tomorrow so we can kind of get a position. But like I said, if not, more patience. We literally get paid to wait. So keep it cool, calm down, breathe. It's okay. You're not gonna miss the trade, right? You're not gonna miss it. And if you do, there's always gonna be another one, right? It's gonna be okay. So I'll see y'all tomorrow, and yeah, drop a comment if anything. Actually, yeah, drop some comments. Let me know what other charts and stuff y'all want me to go over, because I know I personally trade a lot of SPY, but if y'all have other charts and stuff you want me to, because like I did on the live session, so yeah, drop whatever y'all need and we'll keep it cool. All right, see y'all.